Hello everybody, Supersonic here, welcome back to the channel. Again, it's been quite a while, but still working on stuff. It's taken a long time, I gotta tell you. Having a perfectionist personality when it comes to the things you work on is hell when you're trying to work to a, well, I say a deadline, but it's a fictional deadline. There is no real deadline to say. But thought I'd make another video. It's gonna be another low effort one, unfortunately. I hate doing this stuff because, you know, I take a lot of pride in my work and I want to make everything the best it can, but that takes a lot of time, and yeah, it's taking a shitload of time. But over the last few weeks I've just been recording some what I would describe as autistic thoughts. These are just random things that have come into my head. They're a lot like shower thoughts, but they tend to ramble on and go into weird places, which no doubt you'll find out. But starting off with number one on the docket, I don't know if anyone's noticed, and I don't really know if anyone cares, but I've changed up my loadouts a little bit. I mean, functionally they're all the same. Oh no. But oh my god, my mouse is getting stuck on my stuff on my desk. Functionally, like, all the weapons and stuff are the same, but it's the cosmetics that have been changed. I've gone with new look. Well, I say a new look. It's a look that I've kind of had ever since I started TF2, really, because it's like a very good budget loadout. But it's the Dead of Night and the Patriot Peak. I know, daring today, aren't we? Probably two of the most basic all-class cosmetics that have been paired together for ever since both of them came out, I guess. But it's a great look, you know, I can never fault it. And, you know, I've been playing around with this look for quite a while now, but I could never find anything that looked good on every class, or like a running theme or anything. But something actually came to me recently. Birds. Every TF2 character has a bird, at least one bird associated with their class. Oh my god, I'm so close to death. And I was like, damn, why have I never just gotten the birds? So, Patriot Peak, Dead of Night, both painted the Zephaniah's Greed, I think. It's that kind of, it's the green colour that's not as garish as the lime green one. Oh my god. Jesus Christ, what happened? Oh, this happened. Please do something. Oh, you're not doing anything. You're doing literally nothing. But yeah, anyway, I think it's a pretty good look, and it's something I can wear for all classes. You know, something that unifies all of them to, like, a very specific look, which is something that I've been trying to get. But it also has enough uniqueness and flair by incorporating the separate bird cosmetics for each class. And yeah, I'm really happy with how it's turned out, and it's probably what I'm going to be running with from here on after. Fuck. Yeah, but I'll quickly show you. This is Medic, obviously, got Archimedes, Spy's got Aristotle, Sniper's got Sir Hoots-a-Lot, and, you know, so on they go, and Elf, and, yeah. Excuse me. What's next? My phone's gone to sleep, so I can't see what the next thing on my list is. Hold on. Please, Heavy, don't move. Just stay right where you are. Don't do anything. You're doing stuff. I don't like this. Okay. Uh-oh. Rotro. Oh, fuck's sake. Okay. Jesus, I don't even know. I don't even remember what this was. Next thing is just talk about how much you like birds, and I guess it's just talking about how much I like birds. I like birds. This is why I've picked it, not just because of TF2, but in real life, I just think birds are great. It's probably not a correct thing to say that I think that birds have some of the most, like, variation in species and types. You know, you've got, like, land-based birds, like the ostriches, cassowaries, then you've got, like, the aquatic birds. You know, you've got waterfowl, like ducks, geese, and swan, but then you've also got specialized, like, divers, like penguins, and is it kingfisher, the one that kind of dives dives down into the water from the sky, something like that. I think waterfowl are great because most of them are all-terrain. Like a duck, it can like walk on land, it can swim, it can also fly. I think that's really neat. They're also just so smart and so colourful too. I think a lot of animals, like birds, are probably unique in the fact that they're allowed to be quite colourful. Like just look at parrots. I don't know what the evolutionary advantage to being that bright and standoutish in nature is, but God, they make great pets. And back to the point about them being smart, it's just, well, they're smart. You can. They're just so neat. Have you ever seen a video of like a raven or a crow repeating like human speech? It's insane. Parrots, obviously, again. I love parrots. I think I really want to get a parrot as a pet one day. I think that's like a life goal of mine. But yeah, birds are great. And fuck. And talking about birds, that got me thinking because unfortunately we live in a society where furries are never far from the front of my mind. Not for any particular reason. But so an interesting fact about birds is that in our animal kingdom, the way we classify them, birds are considered reptiles. Which made me thinking, because obviously furries have fur, scalies have scales. There are lots of animals that don't have either of those, for instance birds, as to try and stay on topics and not get caught up with like whales or something else that I'll be talking about later. Birds don't have scales or flesh, they have flesh, or they have scales or fur, which makes them featheries, I suppose, but they are, again, classified under as reptiles, so are they just an offshoot of scalies? I don't know how, who has kind of classified the furry animal kingdom or whatnot, but that's kind of a discussion I don't really want to get into. But seeing as I was thinking about furries a lot, I don't know about anyone else, but I've been getting recommended clips from the original Planet of the Apes. And I'm just gonna say, for that time, the practical effects in that film are fantastic. Like the ape prosthetics, I mean, they are genuinely so good looking. But then that made me thinking, because basically what they were wearing were just fursuits. What the fuck? Where'd he go? Oh. Fuck you. Which, again, got me thinking, because obviously there's like, I'd categorize furries into two different kind of categories. What a stupid way to phrase that. But you kind of have like the humanoid furries, which are just humans but with like animal characteristics. And then you've got, like, animal furries, which, like, the best way I can describe it to anyone is, like, imagine, like, Simba from The Lion King, where he's just a lion, but he's got, like, expressive eyes and a mouth that can form sounds to speak in the English language. But chimps are kind of, like, because in Planet of the Apes, obviously, they're apes that have evolved to become more humanoid. But, like, apes and primates are already, like, a relative to human, so even, like, the most animalistic, like, sonar that you could make out of a chimp is still quite humanoid. So, fuck. So the question then comes in, can you have, like, a chimp sonar? Do those count as furries? Or is it just, like, a devolved human? It's a really weird question, because obviously, like, people claim that, you know, furries are, like, bestiality. That's a very loaded question that I don't want to get into. But, like, if you, like, have a chimp sonar and you fantasize as a chimp having sex with another chimp, then essentially you're just imagining having sex with a chimp. Because regardless of how human it is, a chimp is a chimp, right? And, like, this is an awful... Like, I'm saying it out loud and I'm realizing, like, how awful it sounds. But at what point does that chimp stop being a furry and just become a chimp? And that raises a lot of moral questions that I don't think I'm qualified to answer. So we're going to move on to another question that I was having. Like, I'm sure a lot of people, if you're watching a TF2 video, you're quite familiar with TF2 memes and memes in the community. And there's that edit of the sniper, or that furry TikToker, is like, what's the difference between me being a furry and Walt Disney building a park dedicated to his mouse fur sonar? And the sniper goes, oh, what would the difference be? One's a job, the other's mental sickness. But that brings on the question. Does, like, characters like Mickey Mouse and Kermit the Frog... Obviously, Mickey Mouse was very, like, dear to Walt Disney's heart, and Kermit the Frog was acted by and was, like, a very important part of Jim Henson's career and his life. So the question is Kermit the Frog just Jim Henson's persona? And again, we're coming back to... Is the phrase etymology? Furry species etymology? What does a frog sona count as? Because obviously that's an amphibian. He doesn't have scales or fur or even feathers. He just has skin. So what does that make him? A skinny? A fleshy? But then, coming off of that, Kermit the Frog specifically would probably count as a furry because he's made of felt. That's not skin. That's a fabric. And, you know, fabric is used to make fursuits, so fabric equals fur. So Kermit the Frog is technically a furry, right? As I previously stated, these are thoughts that probably only I, and maybe other autistic people, have thought of. Whether or not Kermit the Frog qualifies as a furry, and furry species characterization and animal kingdom. What a world my brain is in. What a fucking world. Get in there, spy. Fucking hell, what are you doing? I think that's got to be the end of the rant about furries, I think. Yeah. What was I talking about? I was talking about Mickey Mouse too. I don't know if Mickey Mouse really counts as a furry. He's a humanoid animal, but he's like a cartoon mascot. Well, I suppose this is something else that I joke about a lot, but the unfortunate fact is that it's quite true also. I'm just going to leave this game, just because I don't think it's going anywhere. It's not really entertaining to play, or for you guys to watch. So, I'm sure you're all familiar with the concept of hentai. And a lot of hentai, especially, well, there is a significant portion of the SFM community who pretty much exclusively make hentai. And a lot of that community are furries who make furry hentai. And the biggest thing that bugs me about that fact is it's so good. It's so good. Like, not in terms of hentai, I don't want to comment on my views on what makes good hentai, but just the quality of, the production quality, the animation, the rendering, the lighting. Fuck it, even sometimes the story writing is surprisingly good. And that really bugs me, you know? Like, the people that are making this are immensely talented, and I would kill to have, like, some of the talent these people are putting out there. Like, these fucking things are amazing. But it's fucking furry porn. And that just irks me. Like, you could have such a promising career. That guy feels like a bot. I don't know about that. But, yeah, they're just using these talents to make furry hentai. And, yeah, it just makes me sad, but also envious. Maybe I should make furry hentai. Maybe then I'll start getting really good. Got his ass. Oh. Oh, dear. God, what else is there to talk about? Oh, damn, I just nearly nailed that guy if you just had a hair less health. I did not think I'd get through this discussion about furry hentai so fast. I genuinely thought I had so much more to say. Like, not just on the hentai thing, but on all of it. And I'd like to clarify, I don't really think about furries all that much. Well, that's a lie, actually. I probably think about them quite a lot, because I wouldn't consider myself a furry, but I am a part of a lot of fandoms, e.g. Sonic the Hedgehog, because, of course I am, I'm autistic. But I think an important part of being a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog is having a Sonic OC, you know? And I'm not going to get into any of mine, but at least one of them was a bird, which, you know, ties back to how much I love birds. It probably stems from dinosaurs, because, you know, dinosaurs be birds and shit. Jesus Christ, what's going on? But, yeah, I've just always loved birds. They're cool. I think I've forgotten what I was talking about. Oh yeah, Sonic OCs. Actually, no, what was I talking about? Fuck, I've stumped myself. That Sonic OC rant just really took me out of it. I don't even know what I was talking about anymore. That's... oh, damn you, furry! Sonic OCs? Man, this has to be one of the weirdest videos I've made. Nice shot, Sniper. That was genuinely really good. Fuck. Why have we got so many scouts? I'm trying to build Uberman, but I can't because everyone's a fucking scout. Okay. Whilst I've got a quiet moment, I'm just gonna check my notes again. God, what was I talking about? Sorry, this is really bugging me now. What was the point I was going to make about Sonic OCs? Fuck me. Oh my god. Sonic OCs, Sonic OCs. I think it was just bringing back up the point where I felt about birds, but we cleared that, like, ages ago. And I don't think we need to go back to how much I like birds. Or actually, maybe we could, because there was more stuff to talk about birds. I think all of humanity has kind of been obsessed with birds ever since like the dawn of time. You know, these things that are capable of, oh, for fuck's sake, you know, these things that are capable of taking flight, and we've kind of always envied them for that until, like, obviously we invented planes. But we name so much stuff after birds, man. If anyone who's interested in trains watches these videos, most likely going to be American. It's probably going to fight me on this, but as a UK, a big part of our culture is the very early adoption of what could be considered modern industry, and that was kind of brought about by the invention of the steam train. Again, I'm autistic, so I follow the autistic stereotypes of liking trains, and something to know about that is some of the greatest feats of trains, and steam trains in particular, with the UK having the world's fastest recorded steam locomotive at 126 miles an hour, that being Mallard, and Mallard, of course, being the name of a bird, because all of their class, well, not all of them, most of their class, at least I believe, no, it wasn't even the original run, because those were the Silver Four, but a lot of the class, I'm going to say most, were named after birds, and if I'm remembering correctly, most of those birds were water-based birds, which is a really weird choice for what became the world's fastest steam locomotive. We named them... Mallard is a duck. The world's fastest steam locomotive is just a type of duck. That's its name. Fuck, maybe that's why I like birds too, just because the, just because trains, a lot of trains were named after birds because they were described as being able to fly. Obviously that's just like a very pedantic... what's the word I'm looking for? Comparison. Speed equals ability to fly in the minds of early 20th century people. Ah, fuck. But I guess since we're on the topic of trains, we're going to talk about something else that's fucking destroyed my, my life recently. It's the realization that I don't belong to the same... to the railway region that I thought I did. Back in the early 20s, all of the railway companies in Europe, post-war, realized that they could get a lot more done together if they just kind of formed up into big railway networks, and so became the big four railway companies of Great Britain. And as a train enthusiast, a lot of weight is put on what region you belong to. And I thought I belonged to arguably the shittest one, which was the Southern, because I live in what is considered the south of England. So I assumed the Southern, I belong to a shit railway. So I'm just not going to talk about that. I don't like the Southern Railway. I don't understand people that do like it. I just think it's quite boring and didn't really achieve anything except for being early adopters of electric locomotives, which in my opinion are the worst locomotives. But I'm getting off track. Get it, track, train pun. Anyway, but I found out that actually the Southern and the London Northeastern were divided by an estuary in what is now a city called Southend. No, it's not. The River Thames, famous landmark in London, jolly old London. Obviously, the River Thames flows from one end of the country to the other. And it comes into a mouth from the ocean, which is called the Thames Estuary. And the Thames Estuary is what separated the London Northeastern and the Southern. And I found out that I'm actually on the northern side of that border. So I belonged to the London Northeastern this entire time. London Northeastern being the railway that's responsible for building Mallard, the world's fastest steam locomotive. So all of this is really coming full circle, you know? These are like the random autistic thoughts that kind of flow through my fucking head, because I'm just so autistic. But, so I'm just noticing chat, they're talking about, like, women and sex. I don't know what that's about, that's weird. But that realization shattered me, because obviously the London Northeastern is a very famous railway, and for good reason. They accomplished a lot of stuff, and they have a really interesting history, and a very interesting locomotive development history, too. And I genuinely think they're quite great. They were probably a close contender for favourite railway. Ah, fuck me. But before finding this out, my favourite railway was the Great Western, just because I like their really, their very Victorian look. Even their most modern locomotives still maintained that same late Victorian design aesthetic, and I thought that was neat. But, I gotta start being loyal to my home region now, man. So, London Northeastern all the way. And part of that was learning... learning about, about it. Just brushing up on everything I know, learning their classes, their feats, statistics, just regions they ran in. And I'm having a great time. But the point I've been trying to make this entire time is that realization that I belong to a railway that I actually liked, and that I could actually learn about local history and like have it tied back to my interests is like genuinely life-shattering in a good way. But it's just that for so much of my life I thought I belonged to the Southern Railway, which, as I've previously stated, I fucking hated. Like, I wished that I belonged to any of the other two. But yeah, no. But like it ultimately. Those railways stopped existing, like, what, 1948? That was, like, 70 to 80 years ago. So that information is useless. It will benefit no one, not even myself. And I shouldn't even care about it, but I do. And that realization for that, like, first couple days, I genuinely was in, like, a depressive funk. Even though it was a good thing, I was just like, man... Fuck, man. I'm really fucked up. Like, I genuinely got fucked up by the knowledge of something that happened 70 to 80 years ago. And I must be... surely I can't be the only person that's ever happened to. But it feels like it. Nice sentry, idiot. God, I don't even know what's happening in this game. I've just been rambling about trains. Heavy, please. Ah, man, I saw him coming in. I tried to get out of the butter zone. Soundsmith TF2 moment. Yeah, I think I've exhausted all I can talk about from trains. Yeah, the next thing on my list is the fact that I keep missing out on game fads. Like, I don't know, there came to a point where I just stopped being interested in what other people were doing. And that sounds like a very, like, middle-aged woman, like, oh, I don't care anymore, haha. I sounded more like Mr. Boss from Smiling Friends then. But no, the last two, like, big games that everyone's been obsessed with, I just completely just did not Funny. I just did not interact with them. Ow! And it was Repo and Peak. I just have not. I think Peak is still quite popular, and it looks like quite an interesting game. And I wouldn't be opposed to playing it. I don't know, man. It's just like eventually everyone's going to get bored of this game, and then I'm never going to touch it again because personally I don't really have any interest outside of it being like a new concept. But what's banging on my desk? It's my mouse against my glasses, so I'm gonna move that. Fuck's sake! Oh, it wasn't even my glasses making the sound. Great, that's just fantastic. Repo was just... It is astonishing how, like, popular Repo became in such a short amount of time. It's in Fortnite now. That's crazy. Like, I honestly think that, as much as I don't care for Fortnite, like, at the very least, I don't care about it. At the very most, I outright despise that game. And the thing I think I hate most about that game is that when it has a crossover with something, it's really good. They always have such good, like, game model skins, and the events that they hold are just crazy. So, I gotta give them props for that, but I just also think that it's a very predatory business model, especially with a game that's very predominantly marketed towards children. But that's a whole other issue that I'm not gonna get into. But anyway, back to Repo. I never really got it. It looked fun, and quite funny, and entertaining. But I just didn't care for Lethal Company that much. And ultimately, Repo is just a Lethal Company clone. So as funny as it may be, and probably a lot less scary, because, I don't know, Lethal Company just had something about it, man. That really fucked me up. Stop walking into me, you dickhead! Yeah, I just skipped over Repo, and none of my friends really wanted to play it outside of wanting to make YouTube videos. But then the friend who wanted to do that quit YouTube because he couldn't get any traction, which I think was a really big mistake. I reckon he could have gone far if he just gave it a bit more time. Oh shit, that's a spy, isn't it? Oh no, it wasn't. No, it was. Yeah, but Repo completely missed on. And even though I do still see it around sometime, I just don't think it's definitely not as big as it once was. But it was still a big surprise to see it in Fortnite's Halloween event. I mean, like, alongside things like Scooby-Doo, Poppy Playtime, and Wednesday. And was it Jason and Ghostface? Like, the fact that Poppy Playtime is thrown in with, like, the Addams Family, Friday the 13th, Scream, and Scooby-Doo? That's insane! Like, that is the indie come-up of the ages. But yeah, and then Peak, I've seen quite a few people play Peak, actually. It does look like a fun game. As I said, once its phase passes, I don't think it's a game that I'd really want to come back to. And even though it's quite cheap, like cheap to buy, and it probably wasn't cheap to produce, I don't know, I just don't want to spend that money because I'm a cheapskate. Well, this is the poor lifestyle, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I haven't bought any more crates for this event. Just have not cared for them. And I think the last thing I can really think to talk about is, about 6 months ago, I uploaded a video talking about how much I hated dentists, and that disdain has maintained because a few days ago I went for another dentist appointment, same location, same dentist, even same assistant, I think, probably, and I just went for a checkup. I didn't need any work doing or anything. Oh god, 2-4, this is gonna be shit. Didn't need work doing, thankfully, because I actually take care of my teeth. But, stand still, you dickhead, and let me come to you. Yeah, they said I had just some tartar build-up, you know, nothing to worry about, and they just cleared it away for me. And they asked me if I consented to the procedure, and I said yeah, because they said just scrape it away. So I thought they were going to go with like a little piggy tool or something. No, they went in with another fucking drill. Like, seriously, they put a whole rotary drill bit on this and it hurt too. Like, it went into my gums, it rattled my teeth. It really hurt, and it caught me by surprise. I wanted to tell them to stop, because I did not know that's what was going to happen, and if I had known, I probably wouldn't have agreed to it. The point of this being that I could not object to what they were doing, because they actively had a drill in my mouth, and if I, like, moved my head, or, like, made a noise and startled the dentist, there was a good point that they could have dropped that drill in my mouth and done some serious damage to my fucking internals. And, yeah, it just really pissed me off again. Every time I go to the dentist, they do something else that pisses me off. Because, like, obviously dentists aren't, like, surgeons, but I still think if they're putting, like, some kind of instrument in or around your body, they should go into detail about what the procedure you're having done is going to be, regardless of how minor it is, because that genuinely scared the fuck out of me. And ultimately, I don't think it did any real damage to my teeth, but they felt really weird afterwards, and I think they might have, like, grinded a bit of actual tooth enamel away, and that also really peeved me off. Yeah, fucking dentists, man. And another thing about dentists, why the fuck aren't they on the NHS? Like, the effectiveness of the NHS. In reality, I'm probably really thankful for the NHS. The only thing is, I've never really had any serious health conditions, so I've never had any reason to benefit from it, except getting, like, flu jabs, the vaccine, the COVID vaccines, you know, stuff like that was fine. I'm glad I didn't have to pay for any of that. But you have to pay for dentists. Like, dental health, like, your teeth are really fucking important, right? So why aren't they covered under the NHS? Even though, like, if they were, probably no one would actually get to use them. But even then, like, the most, like, financially vulnerable people probably can't even afford dental care, because it's quite expensive. For just a checkup, that's 30 quid, which is like $25, which probably doesn't, like... To a lot of people, that's probably nothing. Like, if you can imagine, there's still, like, a lot of people, like, the most underprivileged people, they can't afford a $25 checkup. And, you know, what if your kids go, and you have multiple kids? Like, if you had 2 kids, that's $50, and if, like, the parent has to have it too, that's 2 more parents, that's like $100 in total. And that's crazy to me. Just a checkup for 4 people, $100. And ultimately, the fact you have to pay for it probably does make the experience of working at a dentist more efficient, but with how fucking blasé they are with their procedures, like, I think they should be held to a higher standard than what I've currently experienced. And for that matter, actually, you know what, I'm not thankful for the NHS, fuck the NHS, because, god damn it, I've basically been cleared for, like, disability checks. Basically, the government are checking to make sure that I am actually as disabled as I was 5 years ago. Because, you know, those things obviously can just go away, surely. But yeah, they did not listen to me at all, any of the checkups I went to. I basically went to those checkups to like, confirm that, like, my bones and my muscles and my joints are still all disagreeing with each other, and at any moment I could just collapse, which means that I'm not really fit for most jobs, to be honest, which is unfortunate for me. You son of a bitch. But no, the first thing they asked was, like, I walked in there expecting to be asked about, like, physical ability. First thing they ask, have you ever had thoughts of self-harm or suicide? And Jesus Christ. And then that turned into, they didn't ask me a thing about my body, or, like, the disabilities I actually have. They asked me about my mental health, which in the past hasn't been as top-notch as it is now. But I'm currently in a really good place. Like, it's been 3 or 4 years since I've had any of the thoughts that they asked me about. They didn't seem to care about that. Just the fact that I'd had them was enough to get me a note that said I wasn't fit to work. Even though that's not the reason I'm fit to work. I mean, believe me, I'm not fit to work. My body is a ticking time bomb of biological failures. But they did not care about that. They were asking me about a problem that persisted during the COVID pandemic lockdowns. And to be honest, I think a lot of people during those lockdowns were quite depressed, so it's not an uncommon thing to experience, I don't think, at least. Yeah, fucking doctors. They are shit in the UK, I gotta be honest. I don't know why any immigrants want to come here, to be honest, because the people suck, the infrastructure sucks, the healthcare sucks. Everything just really sucks. Cool beans. I don't know why I wanted to do that, but before I get in trouble for anyone else British who really loves the NHS, or even my family who did the whole going out and clapping during the pandemic, I think I'm going to call it there, because that's enough. I think that's enough. I think I've got enough footage to make a decent video, and I'm out of autistic thoughts for the time being. There will obviously be more. Maybe next time I'll go in depth about the fucking developmental history of the LNER, because it's a doozy, let me tell you. Anyway, I'm Supersonic. I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for more. Peace.